Hey everyone, welcome to the Hornet King channel. Thank you so much for tuning in to check out this video. This is the first yellow jacket ground nest removal of 2020. Here's the video. Check it out. Alright, so we got our first yellow jacket ground nest removal. This is early on in the season. The nest is going to be humongous. It'll probably be about this big to about the size of a baseball. There's going to probably be, I don't know, maybe 10 to 20 adults inside. Totally fine. I'm excited to do it either way. But as a little twist, I'm going to try to relocate this thing. I've said in my QA video that you can't possibly relocate ground nests, but I was more referring to like larger ground nests, like ones that have already been established with hundreds to even thousands of adults inside. So I'm going to try to do this just to kind of prove myself wrong and kind of step up to the challenge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and remove this nest. I'm going to put it in a bin, and I'm going to bring it home to my house, and I'm going to try to suspend it in the hole that I dig. So there's really no other way to do it. I mean, I can put a ground nest upside down in a bin and kind of let it, cripple itself and continue on that way. But so I'm gonna try to relocate it in the way that it was formed, where the comb are facing downward. So I'm gonna glue it to like a board or a stick or something, suspend it in a hole, and then cover it back up. So let's cut to the removal now. Alright, so this is a subterranean yellow jacket species, which is an eastern yellow jacket. And they usually start their colonies usually about like mid-spring, so a fertile founding queen that had hibernated over the winter time will reemerge in the spring, and then she'll go around and looking for a new place to live, to start her own colony. So they love these mulched areas because they can get underneath the mulch pretty easily, and a lot of plants are usually kind of at the surface. The roots are kind of very surfacey. So here there's some tomato plants and some ryegrass, so there's a lot of like really fine surface roots. So she attached her comb to the underside of these roots and started building her little comb nest. So at this point, this nest is only about the size of a golf ball. So there was about maybe 10 to 15 adults inside. So I started vacuuming them up. You see a nice slow motion shot there. I started vacuuming them up and just kind of trying to get them trapped in the vacuum. I did not put any water, soap, anything in the vacuum, so I was kind of hoping I could salvage the adults that I was vacuuming. But luckily, there were a couple newly hatched adults inside the comb that they cannot fly yet. Newly hatched adults can't fly for up to 2 days. And also the queen herself, since she had already laid a significant amount of eggs, her abdomen gets so engorged that she can no longer carry her own weight during flight. So her and her newly hatched female workers are unable to fly, and so they were going to be trapped inside the comb, which was great. So any kind of like gamble that I'm taking of removing any of the flying foragers, they will easily be replaced with the newly hatched adults. So I just kind of take my time here, just vacuuming up any kind of like obvious adults that I can see on the outside of the comb, or ones that are flying back to the nest. And just trying to expose the entire nest itself. Even though it's not very big, I want to be able to just take it out in its entirety. I don't want to rip it. I don't want to damage it in any way, and I certainly don't want to damage or suck up the queen. So just kind of doing a little bit of Jurassic Park excavating here, and just trying to clear out as much of the dirt and the soil and the mulch as I can around the actual nest itself. So you can see here what you're seeing at the outside. That ball is kind of looks like a mushroom, but it's actually a bit of envelope. So they will start digging and excavating out the cavity, and then start building envelope simultaneously. And as their hole gets bigger and bigger, so does their envelope and comb and everything else. Subterranean ground species are super fascinating to me. The fact that they do all of this work in the dark and without communicating, really. I mean, they communicate to each other with pheromones and signals and things, but just not being able to see each other and see really what they're doing is just incredible to me. So you see his little golf ball size nest. I was able to get it out all in one piece. The queen did not fall out, and the new hatched adults did not fall out, which is awesome. I kind of waited around a little bit though too, just to make sure that anybody that was flying back, I did get them sucked up, mainly for the customer, because I didn't want to leave anybody behind. And of course, just trying to cover things back over so it doesn't look like I was ever there. And I was just kind of searching around a little bit just to make sure there weren't any other entranceways with any other adults inside of it. Alright, so that went really well. Like, really well. So I only had a couple individuals that I had to wait around for. There was probably about 13 foragers that were in the nest. The queen is not leaving the nest. So that's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing in the sense that when I relocate it, she's not going to just try to fly away. She's too heavy now to try to do that. But the downside of that is the individuals that I put in the vacuum, I'm not sure if they're going to survive. There's no water in the vacuum, but just being sucked in with that level of G-force, maybe hitting the sides of the wall, the inside of the vacuum, they could potentially die in there. So we'll see. If I open up the vacuum and they're alive, then they can continue to forage and whatever. But chances are they probably died in the vacuum. So since the queen is going to stay inside the nest, that's actually a really good thing, because even though she can't go out and forage, she'll at least stay in there and tend to the larvae. And then if there's any new hatching adults, which I'm sure there are, there's going to be newly hatched adults still in the comb that aren't going to be able to fly, so they're not going to leave the nest either. So once they are mature enough, they can leave the nest and start foraging. So there might be a slight loss in larvae. No big deal. It's a small price to pay. The main thing is that the queen is still in there. She can continue to lay eggs, and they can continue to build the nest even after some larvae may die and some adults may die. All right, so let's cut to relocating this nest. All right, so once I got back to my house, I wanted to choose an area that was very similar to what the conditions were that I removed the nest from. And so I chose an area that was in one of my gardens that had a lot of mulch and some very soft soil, so it was easy for them to excavate. So the first couple foragers that are going to be emerging from the nest that are newly hatched adults are going to be having to do a lot of excavating. So I figured I'd kind of excavate, give them a little bit of a head start. So I got a stick here. I just kind of want to create a little entranceway, and this stick I'll be laying across the hole and then gluing the nest to it and then suspending it within that hole. So the first thing I wanted to do, since it's kind of a narrow stick, I wanted to just add a little bit of glue to it, and that would give me a little bit more surface area to glue the nest to itself.
Quiet, Ginger. Quiet, Ginger.
Alright, so even though that I know that the queen can't fly and the new workers can't fly, I just wanted to be extra careful for myself, and because I was going to be trying to get some of the foragers out of the vacuum too. But just wanted to put my suit on and get my gloves on just in case somebody tries to get adventurous and fly out of the nest and try stinging me. So, and also being very delicate too, because the queen is very sensitive to vibration on that nest. So as delicate as I possibly could, I wanted to put a little bit of glue, just a bead of glue on the top of the thing, and try not to burn anybody that was inside the nest itself, because that glue is obviously really hot. So I just put a couple dabs on the top of the comb, which is actually the underside of the or the back side of the envelope. So I'm centering the nest into the middle of my bin and then laying the stick across it right into the glue. And then I'll give this probably like a minute or so to dry before I mess with it. So I'm going to just put the stick on there and then put the lid on, just in case again anybody tries to escape. So who you're seeing here is the queen. That is the mother queen there, and just investigating around. And she didn't seem to be too overstressed, and she ended up just kind of climbing back through a hole back into the envelope. So you can see here I'm suspending it across the surface of the hole that I made, and just tried to keep it straight as I possibly could without pushing the comb into the soil. I wanted there to be a little, maybe like a quarter to half an inch of space between the bottom of the comb to the bottom of the hole. And just sprinkle a little bit of mulch just kind of towards the edges there, and but I also didn't want to fill the hole in, so I decided to put a leaf across the opening just to kind of give it a little bit of an organic feel for them, and that way a bunch of mulch wasn't falling inside the hole, because this is pretty close to the surface. Not too many nests that I remove are this close to the surface, so I wanted to pile up the mulch a little bit. But even after this, I ended up putting a piece of wood over top of that and with a brick on top of it, so that way no possums or anything get any ideas. Because possums will eat them, so will squirrels, so will chickens. Alright, so this is a nest I tried relocating. It's a bald-faced hornet nest, but unfortunately the queen had vacated. She hadn't laid enough eggs for her abdomen to be engorged enough for her not to be able to fly, so she left, and hopefully she'll start another nest somewhere else.
Oh, hi, Squirrel, Squirrel. Woohoo! Yeah, I got something for you. Is that a yummy nest, Squirrel, Squirrel? No done, Squirrel, Squirrel? Was that a yummy wasp nest, Squirrel, Squirrel? Oh, Squirrel, Squirrel. Hey, Squirrel, Squirrel. Oh, Squirrel, Squirrel. Oh, Squirrel, Squirrel. Hey, Squirrel, Squirrel. Was that a yummy peanut, Squirrel, Squirrel? Is that a yummy peanut, Squirrel, Squirrel? Don't dig up my new yellow jackets. No, no, hey. Don't go digging up my new yellow jackets. I saw that. Hey, Squirrel, Squirrel. You guys like walnuts too? Really? I never would have guessed that chickens and turkeys like walnuts and peanuts. Come on, turkey. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Oh, squirrel, squirrel. Oh, squirrel, squirrel. I am free. I am free. Hello, squirrel, squirrel. Hello, squirrel, squirrel. Oh, squirrel, squirrel. Oh, bully, squirrel, squirrel. Oh, pigeon. Everybody thinks you're so sweet and you get to handled and stuff, but you're more aggressive than any of them. Come on, turkey. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Come here, little turkey. Come here, little turkey. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Oh, hello, Giblet. Hey, Giblet. Oh, flat squirrel. Here. That what you want? You want to be able to bury it, don't you? All right. Let me go get you a little bit of water. Here you go, turkey. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Chippy, chippy, chip. Chippy, chippy, chip. Chippy, chippy, chip. Good squirrely squirrel. Chase that turkey. Chase that pesky turkey. Hey boss, what am I gonna do to you? Oh, sleepy squirrel. Me squeeze squirrel.
Alright everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to check out this video. If you guys enjoyed this content, drop in the comments, let me know what you think. If you have any suggestions for future videos, something like to see me covered in an upcoming video, also drop in the comments, let me know. If you guys haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so and hit that bell notification down below. That way you guys get an update anytime I do post a video. Alright, thank you so much for tuning in to check out this video, supporting my channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.